So Central Cee is gearing up to release his project later this month, All Roads Lead Home. This follows major success of his 2025 album Can't Rush Greatness and super successful singles Booger and Which One, which looks to be on Drake's Iceman. Central Cee has released a couple songs from this album, Iceman Freestyle and Slaughter featuring J Hus. Today I'm going to break down a beat that could fit on that project and show you how to make beats in this style. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the lead single to this project, Iceman Freestyle, features a beat that's super aggressive, dark and textured. It's got those orchestral, grand sounding instruments like strings and some choir sounds. It really gives that impending, scary, foreboding kind of vibe.
My bro said they wanna get paid, okay, let's see what's possible. Pop the pill and I feel alright, I believe I can fly, I feel unstoppable. I get flashbacks in my mind about times we grind all night.
So to achieve that same sort of vibe, we can lay down a simple but textured string progression. Now I've basically just got some minor triads here with some accent notes. The main thing that's bringing this energy is those swells in the preset that really gives that movement. And then to add a little bit more depth and texture, we can stack those with a multi-keys preset and a string preset. And that second string sound is just a preset from Analog Strings. And then for the texture layer, we've just got a simple multi-keys preset from Keon. So now we've got those foundational elements, now we can add a little bit of energy and movement with some counter melodies. And so to achieve this, I've gone with two orchestral elements using the call and response method. You can kind of hear a lot of texture and noise in those presets, and that just adds to that aggressive, dark feel we're trying to go for. And then just to add to that orchestral aesthetic, we can add a brass layer in there. And that preset is just from an analog brass and winds contact bank. And then on top of this, we can just add a full choir from On the Sphere, and that is just a simple progression following some of the notes in the melody. Just adds to that kind of unnerving feeling we're trying to go for. I kept the majority of those melodies super dry, maybe just adding some panning and delaying to a few bits here and there. And then just on the melody bus, I added a bit of a reverb just to kind of glue it all together. And of course, taking up the low end of that melody. But again, just keeping it super simple. Finally, we can get a dark, gritty synth bass to fill that low end. So I've gone for a super hard and aggressive sub bass from my Analog Labs preset pack. Simply following the root notes of the melody, but then just adding a little walk down the end to add that tension. But again, just keeping it super simple. So once we have all those melodic elements, we can now start adding bounce with some drill sound and percussion. So we can stack a triplet hi-hat with a heavy snare and some drill sound and perks. Now we're trying to keep it simple here, allowing space for the artist, but still keeping it driving and energetic. Now after we've got those elements in place, we can stack two super heavy 808s. We're just trying to get that punch and low end and add to the bounce and the rhythm. once you've got all these elements in place, one of the most important parts of the process is arranging the beat. We want to make sure to keep it interesting and varied, but also keeping it intuitive for the artist. So the way I usually go about arranging is to start with an intro, then not leaving it too long before we hit the chorus. And then we might do a couple of bars of a verse where we break it down a little bit. Then we might bring it to a bridge, and we can keep it super familiar by copying over those elements. So there's a few little bits I like to add to keep it interesting and varied. One being a super simple transition before we hit the chorus. This essentially just outlines the main part of the beat so they can know where the chorus needs to go. So all I've done is reverse an open hat and then stop it right where a snare hits. It just makes the chorus hit a little bit harder. And so a few super simple things to give it a little bit of flavor, like introducing the 808 late, introducing the chorus only in the second part of the verse, as well as that responding string, and just having those snare rolls hit just before we go into the verse to indicate a bit of a transition. As we go into the verse, we've just got that sweeping string progression coming in, and it kind of naturally leads into the drums. And then we introduce a similar pattern with a new 808. Just more of a short release distorted 808. And yeah, just adding some of those perks back in. And once we get to the bridge, we take all those percussive elements out and let it just build back up to the chorus. And that leaves the beat just around under 3 minutes. So if you guys learned something from this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on to never miss one of my videos. Also make sure to check out the video on screen, which will show you why Central Cee's beats have taken him worldwide. And I'll see you guys in the next one.